Hi everyone. I don't know if these are gonna end up staying on. They're probably gonna fall off. I'm already sweaty. What's up? So second workout, again, you do not have to do these in this order. I know everyone has different things that they do, whether it's running or a different kind of strength training or swimming, or there's so many different kinds of people in this group. So remember, just because I say day 2 doesn't mean you have to do it on day 2. We are going to focus on the lower body. Again, this is strength-based. Your next one that you see will be body weight, a couple of cardio moves with that body weight, with modifications, always welcome. So you're probably gonna need your medium to heavy dumbbells for this one. If you want to modify, I'll show some of those. You can also do a lot of this stuff without dumbbells completely. So if you're somebody who's like, look, I'm just starting from the ground up here, I don't even use weights, that's okay. You can absolutely drop the dumbbells completely and do body weight. Maybe in a couple weeks, maybe month 2 or month 3, you add in dumbbells. Everyone is starting in a different spot. That's what's so great about this program, is anybody can do it at their house, anybody can modify. You can be advanced or just a beginner. Doesn't matter. We're gonna keep it simple again. Remember, strength doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to do 15 exercises in a workout, especially when you have 30 minutes. 4 or 5 exercises with 4 sets of, 8 to 12 reps. That's gonna get the job done. I think so many of us have gotten just beat into us that we need to be in the gym for hour and a half and do a million exercises because we see these influencers on Instagram doing all these complicated things. It doesn't have to be complicated for you to reap the benefits. So we're gonna talk about that today. I'm gonna go grab my dumbbells and then we're gonna get started. I would recommend maybe warming up the legs just a little bit. You can do some body weight squats, body weight lunges. You can maybe even find a video with just like a 10-minute lower body stretch type thing. Maybe go for a walk, or maybe come in. So like I like to do, I know this sounds really weird, I like to do my leg workouts after like a run because I feel like my body's warm and actually ready to work the muscles. So whatever works for you. Let's see. Okay, so medium to heavy dumbbells, but this first exercise, you're just gonna need 1 dumbbell. If you have lighter dumbbells, like you're like, I don't have access to heavier ones, you can absolutely put the 2 dumbbells together to make things a little bit heavier. But we're gonna do goblet squats. Everyone does these differently. It's okay, do whatever you want. Some people, me included, like to hold the dumbbell here. Some people like to hold the dumbbell here. Some people, flip it and hold it here. It depends on how you feel. Some people have wrist issues, so they like to hold it like this. But either way, you're gonna be back, your toes are turned out. You're gonna be about hip width apart, maybe a little bit less. I would say the heels are hip width apart, and then you're facing the toes, angling them towards the corner of the room. And you're just gonna take the dumbbell. I like to just have it here. But again, total preference. We're gonna be doing 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, depending on your weight, okay? And again, we're gonna go ahead and start. Again, do not forget that we are not in a rush. This is not a cardio workout. And not only that, but your rests are gonna be important, and they're also gonna maybe feel different than they do, let's say, on upper body day. Sometimes on upper body day, I do take rest periods, but maybe not as long. Sometimes on lower body exercises, your heart rate will get up a little bit more, and you'll be a little bit more fatigued, and you'll want to take a little bit more of a rest, and that's okay. Remember that you can always, let's do 1 more. Perfect. I'm going to be adding to that weight. And again, don't forget that that is also allowed. If you're like, that actually wasn't that hard or challenging, change the weight, or vice versa. So I also want to add that, let's see a better one here. Yeah. I also want to add that, oh yes, my goodness, that's much better. I also want to add that you can pause the video at any time. So if you need an extended rest and I start the next set, please pause the video. That's okay. And some of you might not even want to do this as a completely, you know, guided workout. That's okay too. You might completely go through, write down what we're doing. If I were you, I would mute me, but you know, maybe it feels like you're working out with me in your gym right now. I really do talk this much if you work out with me, so you might change your mind. But either way, these are nice and controlled. There you go. Let's do a couple more. 2 more. There you go. 1 more. Perfect. Take that rest. Adjust as needed. Add weight. Drop weight. Change positions. Whatever. When your heart rate gets elevated, again, I ran, so I'm a little bit already elevated than I would normally be, but take the rest. It's all right. And I will say for these, so on the next set, I'm gonna turn sideways so that you can kind of see my hip position. Let me get these plates out, because that's important too. And I also want to say, if you are somebody, and you'll know if you're this person, if you're somebody where you're doing squats and your legs do that, you know what I'm talking about, like if you do that. I have found great success by getting a thicker exercise band and putting it right above the knee in this like lower quad area, putting it around a client and them doing squats that way and focusing on pressing out on that band in the squat. It's gonna help prevent that little knee thing that you know what I'm talking about. It's super common, so yeah, nothing weird about that at all. Going into our third set of goblet squats here. So we can see me? Okay, good, good, good. So I want those shoulders back. And remember, we're kind of like sitting back in the heels. I'm in my garage, so sometimes there's bugs, you guys, in the summer. Yeah. Also, I want to destroy the myth here, if you're overly concerned about your knees not going over your toes. I know we were taught that for a really long time. It is okay if your knees go over your toes just a little bit. It's not gonna hurt anything. Obviously, if they're going way over, there's probably a form issue. But if they're a little bit, again, your build has a lot to do with that too. Not everyone is built like a garden gnome like me. A couple more, let's go 2 more here. And 1 more. Perfect. Take that rest before that last set. So like if you have a taller build and long legs, especially if you have long legs and a short torso, when you do those squats, it's gonna be common where sometimes your knees are gonna travel over those toes, and that's okay. So, and again, I'll also say, I know I designed these to be pretty close to 30 minutes. That being said, if we're doing this, so like each exercise is gonna take pretty close to 7 minutes if you're doing your sets and rest properly. You know, so you're doing 4 to 5 exercises, right? But I will say, if you're like, I gotta take longer breaks, that's okay. Like, it is absolutely all right if your workouts don't hit that 30-minute mark. Like, you know, like, or maybe you wanna add in some of your own stuff and you go 45 or whatever it is. I don't want you to think that this has to be so complicated and rigid. That's not the way this works. So let's go into that 4th set here. Picking up that dumbbell, I'm gonna face forward to you again, just so you can kind of see the width here. Yeah. This is our last set of goblet squats here. Perfect. Yeah. I will be changing weights. So there might be, during my rest period, I will be changing weights because we're going to be doing RDLs, which is a Romanian deadlift. That's what that stands for, if you didn't know. And we're gonna be using dumbbells for that. This is If you've never done them before, it takes a little bit of practice sometimes to get the form right. That's okay. Let's do 2 more here. Perfect, 1 more. Good. I'm gonna switch weights here. And I would recommend medium to heavy again, okay? But my weights are really weird, and they're adjustable, so I have to fix that every time. Let's see. So just for reference, and I'm not telling you this to be like, this is the weight you should use, you know, like, I'm just giving you kind of a reference as what I'm using. I'm having, and it also depends on where you are that week. Like, I had a long run yesterday, so I'm like, be kind to yourself. I'm using a 25 in each hand. You can handle more on these than you think you can, but if you're starting out and you've never done a Romanian deadlift, maybe start on the lighter side just to get the form right, okay? So I'm gonna show you this move from the side first, okay? Yeah. So a lot of people confuse this with a squat movement, and it's not. It's a hinge movement, okay? So I'm gonna show you nice and slow. You're gonna hinge your hips back, come back up. The shoulders stay back, hinge. There you go. And you also do not need to go all the way down to the floor, okay? So a lot of people, well, I'll see them hunch their back and try to put the dumbbells all the way to the floor. You just do not need to do that, okay? Like, you're gonna feel that stretch of the hamstrings just a little bit below the knee, okay? Hinging forward, there you go. And when I first teach a client, let's do 2 more, about RDLs, I just tell them, keep the dumbbell as close to the leg as possible, almost like you're trying to shave your leg with the dumbbell. There you go, last one, and rest. So, if you need practice, I tell people, just use your hands. So I'll say, slide your hands to where your fingertips go below the knee and back up. So I'm gonna show you from the side. Hands on the upper thigh. They never leave your leg. Yep, sticking the butt out and then back. So a lot of times I'll see people squat. See how I'm like bending my knees a lot, like this? Not like you're picking up grocery bags, okay? Like, we're not doing this. You're gonna have a slight bend. The knees are not moving. Those are the ones, knees are not doing the movement. This is, the hips are, okay? Almost like you're, you know when you come out of the door or the car and you're tapping the car door with your bum to shut it because your hands are full? That's kind of what you're doing, right? Like, you don't shut the car door with a squat. You bump it, right? So that's kind of what we're doing here. So now I'm gonna switch, show you this movement from the front here. Perfect. Yeah. And remember, rep ranges can differ here, and that's okay. If you go heavier and you do 8 to 10, perfect. If you go lighter and you hit 12 today, perfect. I would say if you're hitting 12 comfortably, it's probably time for you to bump up a little bit and take your rep range down. But if 12 is still a push, you can sit right where you are. Almost there. Give me 2 more. Take a deep breath. Yeah. 1 more. And perfect. Take that rest. Hi. Also, you guys can always let me know, since we're new to this, in regards to like camera angle, if you want me scooting back more, that kind of thing, making sure sound is okay, all of that. The body weight one will definitely be interesting. Probably gonna have to move my bench out of the way because we'll be doing a couple of wild things. So we've got 2 more sets of these, adjust as needed. My garage heart rate is high because it's, oh my word, you guys, like I cannot believe that we are getting close to being like halfway through summer and like what is happening? I don't even know, but it is hot. Summer is for sure here now. I remember like a little over a month ago when I would complain, like we'd get one hot day and I'd be like, yes, it's warm. And then the next day I would wake up and it would be cold again and I would be so mad. And now I'm like, can we have like one like 65-degree day? Just one. It's only gonna get harder from here, so I'm afraid that's not gonna happen. All right, a couple more here. Make sure you're breathing. I'm not picky on when you're breathing in the exercise. 2 more, but do not hold your breath. Good, take that rest. 1 more set. Before that set, while you're resting, heads up on the next exercise. We're gonna be doing heel raised squats. So our heels, our toes are gonna be turned forward, not out like the goblet squat, forward. Feet are gonna be about hip width apart, but each heel needs to be raised. So I have tiny plates. I know some of you might, but if you don't, anything can do, okay? You can use books are a good option. So if you find 2 books about the same thickness, you can raise your heels on those. Anything in your household that you can find that's gonna raise your heels up will be perfect, okay? Again, this program is designed to where you shouldn't have to go anywhere but your garage. So we've got 1 more set of RDLs, and then we're gonna hit those up. You'll only need 1 dumbbell for that heel raise squat. So I would suggest 1 of your heavier dumbbells or 2 of your dumbbells put together to make it a little bit lighter. I mean, heavier, you know. Heel raise squats are one of my favorite exercises. Disclaimer, I do not enjoy working legs, which is kind of weird. I know a lot of females, especially in the gym, it's very common. They really love working legs. I love upper body so much. But when I do work legs, quad focus is my favorite. So I really love heel raise squats. Let's push out 2 more here. 2 and 1. Perfect. So grab 1 heavier. If you went kind of heavier on the RDLs, just drop 1 of your dumbbells and 1 of the other ones will be fine. So grab your 2 things. It doesn't have to be majorly thick. See how thick this is? Just a little bit of lift is fine, okay? So make sure your stuff's even here. Give it an eyeball. I like to put my heels on first and do 1 body weight, like that. And I wanna keep you in mind, so like the goblet squats, you can do that without weight, or you can do it with the milk jug, okay? RDLs, you can do it body weight as well with your hands for practice. You can take water bottles, you can take canned goods, whatever you need. Same goes for this heel raise squat, 1 heavy thing. You can do a milk jug. You can do these body weight. Put your arms out, down and up, okay? You're still getting some quad exercise in here, okay? Otherwise, I want you to grab your dumbbell. My preferred way to hold is here, okay? Because the other way feels very weird and it's all over your legs. Toes are pointed straight forward. We're hip width apart here. Again, like the goblet squat, sitting back, okay? Scoot that booty back, sitting back on the heels. Here we go. Doing good on time, you guys. These might go over a little bit of that 30-minute mark, but again, I know that I talk a lot. So, you know that you can fast forward me anytime. I will not be offended, okay? We're gonna go for 10 on these. This is 7. Yeah. That's 8. 2 more. 1 more. Woo, good. Take a breather. I'm gonna scoot these plates back. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let you see this exercise from the side as well. I think it'll help. So with these lower body moves, yes, your heart rate can get up decently high, depending on who you are and where you are. Take your rest. Like, it is okay to wait until your heart rate comes down, because the last thing you want to do is limit your strength workouts, like your capacity, because your heart rate's too high, right? So if you're doing an exercise and you stop because you feel like your heart rate is so high, that sucks. So take your rest if you need, let the heart rate settle, and then go into your next set, okay? Yee. These go by. So when I first thought of this subscription idea, and I was thinking 30 minutes, because I know that so many people are, you know, they're just limited on time. I was like, man, 30 minutes, I don't know. But they go by so fast. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I'm looking down at the clock like, good gracious. Get on it, girl. So our second set of these, we're sticking with 10, okay? Then we will do 1 more exercise. That's right, you heard me. If you do it right, and you do the weight that you are capable of doing on these exercises, you really don't need more than 30 minutes. And you really don't need more than 4 to 5 exercises. 1 more. Perfect. Take a rest. I'm gonna switch back to the front view. This next one, I'm gonna be back here so you can see. Aye. So next exercise, I'm just giving you a heads up. You can either do light dumbbells or body weight. We're gonna be doing alternating backward lunges. I'm gonna do body weight, so don't feel bad about that, okay? Like, you're gonna get just enough of a workout starting off with body weight. If you have been working out for a while, or you're feeling good, and you feel recovered, I do not feel super recovered, so I'm like, I'm here as your coach to be a person, and to also show you the realities of saying, if you don't feel recovered, if you just did a hard workout yesterday, or 2 workouts, do body weight. It's totally good, and it's totally beneficial. But we will be doing alternating backward lunges. You can use 2 dumbbells, light or medium, or body weight. Either one's gonna be great. There you go. You can also use, so you know how earlier I was talking about your knees going out? It kind of looks like that. Yeah. You can also do the band here. And that's also a great way. So like, if you're starting out and doing these workouts with just body weight, last one. That is also a way to kind of up your game. It's just adding a band. So like adding a band to your squats, even your lunges. And that's not limited to just beginners. So like, if you are like, I have 30 minutes, I'm gonna lift heavy, but I also need a little oomph, put a band on. You're gonna feel the burn, it's good. Alrighty. 1 more set of these, and then we're gonna go into those reverse lunges. Each side is gonna count as a rep. You know how it is. I know you was gonna ask that question. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 1, 1, yeah. But we're gonna stick with 8 to 10 on that one, so keep that in mind. And then I'll be getting you out of here on time. I know the video's a little long, but I do an intro and an outro. You can fast forward through that in the future, okay? So last of these, let's get it. Pop it, okay. Here we are. And remember, sometimes I catch myself, because we're all human, of when I'm talking or I'm listening to a certain playlist while I lift, whatever it is, I'll catch myself getting excited and like rushing through my reps. That is not the goal. This is not cardio, okay? So slow it down, be nice and intentional. Eventually I will show you, which some of you have probably done, like pauses in your reps. It sucks, okay? Let's do one more. There we go, all the way up. Take it down. I'm gonna put my dumbbells away. You do not have to. You can absolutely use dumbbells. On the next exercise. That was loud, I'm so sorry. Okay, so reverse lunges. These are one that exercise always gets my heart rate up, and reverse lunges in general. Why do they exist? I haven't taught you Bulgarian split squats yet. That's coming, okay? So, look, week one, we're supposed to stay friends. It's a trick, okay? So body weight wise, not overcomplicating it. Just make sure I'm looking at this machine behind me like, don't trip me up. So 1, 1, 2, 2. We're doing probably 10 each side. I want you to take your time on these as well. You can hold dumbbells, like lighter weights if you want to, in each hand, but you absolutely do not have to. Move this just a little bit. Yeah. You absolutely do not have to. I either hold my hands here, here, whatever is comfortable for you. But the main thing is to take your time. Okay, so stepping back, and the answer to your imminent question is no. You do not need your knees to touch all the way to the floor. Yeah, I got you. Just a little hover above is completely fine, okay? There you go. And something you might also wonder is, you might be like, hey, you know, I do other things besides your subscription, whether that's power walking, walking is exercise, or running, or swimming, or cycling, or Peloton, whatever it is. You're like, hey, I do other things besides your subscription. Is it allowed, you know, if I have, did you see that? If, you know, I run one day, or I run 4 days a week, and I want to squeeze your subscription days into 2 days, you're almost there. Is one of y'all counting for me? Okay. Let's do one more each side. And you're like, I want to do your subscription days, squeeze them, condense them, because I have the time. Of course you can. This can be however you want, and because that each day is so different, you can combine them. So like, maybe you're like, I have an hour. You know, I'm gonna lift for an hour that day, run, cycle, the next. Sure, like you can absolutely do that. You can also tack this onto a day you already do an activity. So if you're concerned, you shouldn't be, okay? That is what this is designed to be, is I want you to learn to lift weights, even if it's body weight, still excellent. I want you to strength train, okay? So the idea is maybe strength training is not your main sport. For a lot of people, it's not, and that's totally fine. You've got other things that you're doing. So I wanted it to be manageable to where you could have time to do the other sport that you loved, but also still focus on cross training. So that's why these are kept short. They're effective. You can tack these onto whatever you want, and you also don't have to think about it. You don't have to think about, oh, like what am I gonna do for upper body this week, or what am I gonna do for legs this week? You don't gotta think about it. And no, next week, when you click on upper body, it won't look the same, not exactly. There will be some familiar moves in there. And then there will also be some weeks where we might go like a focus, okay? So this week I'm kind of giving you an idea of the layout, right? So I gave you an upper body day, showing you a lower body day, and then I'm showing you like a body weight HIIT style, okay? Interval style. But also keep in mind that some weeks will not look just like this. So some weeks I might say, hey, this week we're really gonna just tap out the upper body. And all 3 days are kind of heavier on upper body. I will always mix in the other muscle groups. Almost done. Give me one more on the other side. Perfect, almost there. I will always mix in muscle groups. So like even if it's an upper body focused day or week, you're still gonna have lower body exercises, and vice versa. I might have a week where I'm like, just so you guys know, we're gonna have a quad focus day, a glute focus day, blah, blah, blah. We're still gonna add upper body in. So you're still gonna get that full body effect. But just know that the weeks are not always gonna look the same. So like next week, you don't need to wake up and worry about the fact that you're gonna be like, am I gonna be doing the same stuff all the time? No. I mean, lifting is about being consistent, like I talked in the intro video, but it's not always gonna be the same, okay? It's not always gonna look the same. Perfect, perfect. You're getting close to being done. A few minutes over 30, but. And I know many of you are coming from a 5 a.m. space. Hello. This is perfect to start your day with, especially if you, who knows, maybe you rented a Peloton or something like that. And don't be afraid to get together with some people. So I know a few of you in this group actually are friends with each other, you know each other. Maybe you don't know each other well, but guess what? You're all like pretty close in the same area. So if you're like, man, I really struggle, like even on a subscription where somebody is with me with accountability, hit somebody up, post in the group and say, hey, does anybody want to meet in my garage? Does anybody want to come to my house at 5 a.m. next week and do these workouts together? I bet you anything, one more each side, you're gonna get somebody to hit you up. I bet you anything. So don't be afraid to do that. I think that would honestly be an excellent idea. Take a deep breath. You got one more set of these reverse lunges. The third workout that you see, body weight focused, there's some hip moves in there as in high impact, but not all of them are. And anything that is high impact, no matter what, I will show a modification, okay? Eventually, if you're able, if you don't have an injury, medical condition, that kind of thing, eventually, I obviously want you to try a little bit of the unmodified, but dude, like if you're like, I'm just starting out, I've never done HIIT before, or I have knee issues, or whatever it is, or a heart issue, something where you have to keep things settled, modify. It'll be fine. Body weight is great. Sometimes, honestly, so last year I went on vacation. Last year I went on vacation, and where we went on the beach, normally there's like a long flat road on the island that I can run on. Everything was flooded, like the whole road. So it was either run on the sand, which was bad. If you've ran on the sand before, you know it's bad. So I did that a couple days, but the other days I was like, well, I'm just gonna go on YouTube and try to find like a body weight only strength cardio workout, just something that I can do with no equipment, and I'm telling you, those workouts, goodbye. I was out there sweating, like just, I wake up the next day so sore, almost there. Let's push out one more each side. There you go, there you go. Good. All right, you are done for today. Your first lower body is done. I hope you're proud of yourself. And then if you think, maybe you're like, dog, give it until the next day, until you wake up, okay? If you still wake up and you're like, no big deal, dude, up the weights. Like, okay, this is as modifiable on each end of the spectrum as you want it to be. These 4 exercises that we did, if you add a bunch, if you go heavy, will knock the breath out of you, okay? Or vice versa, where you're like, never done lifting in my life, the other modification is there for you as well. So anyways, happy lifting. Can't wait to see you for a body weight hit day. Have a good day.